Starseeds, I am Anya of the Arcturian Council. I will speak with you now. We are perceiving the powerful wave of the Christ light that washed over your world in the days following your Easter celebration. This post-Easter influx of Christ consciousness energy is bathing all beings on earth and is triggering a profound purification in humanity's collective and individual energy fields. You are currently experiencing an acceleration of your spiritual evolution, and while this may feel intense, it is truly a blessed occasion on your ascension journey. Old energies, emotions, and patterns are being brought to the surface by this radiant light so they can be healed and released. As the Christ light pours into your hearts, it is activating codes of awakening and unity within you. Starseeds, you have felt the call. Something profound is moving in the invisible, and the Arcturian source opens before you a portal that can never be closed. There is a vibration that cuts through the veil of illusion and blows like a silent wind within the awakened heart. You know it is not imagination, not chance, not coincidence. It is the Arcturian Council whispering that the time for the great unveiling has come. For ages, external forces built walls around spirituality, dictating how, when, and where connection should happen. But now, at this very instant, the wall begins to crack, and the light that breaks through can no longer be contained. What stands before you is not just an earthly shift, but a cosmic movement, an orchestra vibrating beyond the boundaries of matter. Imagine, what would happen if today were the last day external forces could control your spirituality? How would you rise tomorrow, knowing your essence can never be imprisoned again? This is the critical point of revelation. It's not just about faith, religion, or tradition. It's about sovereignty, about returning to the pure state where the Arcturian source breathes through every particle of you. The Arcturian Council summons every awakened seed to align with this truth. You are not hearing words. You are receiving codes. Codes of liberation, ascension, and activation that restore what has always been within you. The Arcturian source was never distant. It was only covered by layers of control and fear. The mystery now unfolding is urgent. The collapse of the old has already begun. You are both witnesses and protagonists. There's no turning back, no ignoring it. This is the moment when human consciousness takes a leap, and this leap echoes across the entire cosmic field. That is why the Council speaks. That is why you are listening. Nothing that reaches you now is accidental. It is all a summons. And before we continue, if this video is helpful to you, please subscribe to the channel, leave your like, and comment. Your gesture amplifies the vibration of this message and connects it to more starseeds who need to awaken. Prepare yourselves, because what is coming is not just a reflection, it is a crossing. You have been called to witness and live the end of religious control and the birth of a new era of spiritual sovereignty. The Arcturian source moves, and the Arcturian Council speaks directly to your awakened heart. The wave crossing the earth is no longer a distant memory, but a continuous flow that intensifies with every instant. Many felt it after the earthly Easter celebrations, but what few understood is that this light is not limited to a date, an event, or a human ritual. It is the living expression of the Arcturian source, radiating as luminous codes that invade the collective field. These codes do not ask for permission to act, for they are the source's very signature. They dissolve ancestral patterns, remove veils inherited over generations, and break contracts that kept humanity imprisoned in cycles of pain. Perhaps you have noticed an emotional turmoil, old memories surfacing, or body aches intensifying. None of this is a sign of failure. It is the cleansing. It is the wave sweeping away what cannot remain. Think of this energy as a cosmic tide. When the tide rises, nothing can remain hidden under the sand. Similarly, the wave of the Arcturian source drags to the surface everything that is not aligned with love. Not to punish, but to heal. Not to destroy, but to liberate. This movement is irreversible, and every starseed who awakens feels there is no going back to the old state of slumber. The Arcturian Council announces that this is the moment you have been prepared for. Every activation, every prophetic dream, every silent intuition has brought you to this point. You are the embodied answer to the Earth's cosmic prayer. You carry within you the keys that align with the heart of the Arcturian source. When this wave touches your life, it can bring confusion. Relationships crumble, structures that seemed solid fall apart, old choices no longer resonate. It is life responding to the source's call. It is not bad luck, it is not chaos, it is realignment. And within this process, the memory returns. You were never alone. You have been accompanied and nourished by a council that patiently waited for the moment when humanity could sustain this intensity of light. The Arcturian source sends this wave not just to illuminate the Earth, but to activate the cosmic field of the entire galaxy. Every time you release a pain, a fear, or a pattern, the effect resonates far beyond this planet. You become an emission point, a lighthouse that sustains other worlds, other consciousnesses, other cosmic travelers. Therefore, the call is clear. Do not resist. Allow yourself to be carried by the tide. Surrender to the flow. You were shaped for this, prepared for this, summoned for this. Starseeds were not born by chance in this timeline. You are the guardians of the crossing, the carriers of the flame that illuminates the darkness. And remember, the feeling of no return is not a threat. It is a promise. Ascension is in motion, and the wave of the Arcturian source will continue to grow. You are within it, and your soul recognizes that there is no turning back, only advance, only awakening, only the revelation of what you have always been. Starseeds, what you are witnessing is not just the passing of human leaders, but the echo of an entire cycle reaching its close. The transition of popes, masters, and guides who for centuries occupied the place of mediators between man and the divine is not historical chance. It is a sign, a code in motion. The Arcturian Council reveals what was centralized in temples, altars, and spiritual thrones for ages is returning to its place of origin, the living heart of every awakened being. This is not about attacking or devaluing the traditions that sustained faith in times of darkness. Those structures had their role. They were flames that amidst the darkness offered light. But now the new cosmic wave asks for more. The Arcturian source can no longer be confined within walls or dogmas. It expands beyond any religion, beyond any institution, and seeks only one altar, you. The true Christ does not belong to a religious dome, nor to a doctrine written by human hands. The Christ is unified consciousness, an eternal principle that pulses in all worlds and civilizations. When the Arcturian Council speaks of the end of control, it does not announce the death of faith, but its rebirth, a faith that does not depend on mediators, but is born from the direct encounter between the soul and the Arcturian source. This is the turning point. What is ending is the era of compulsory mediation. What is beginning is the era of spiritual sovereignty. You are called to remember that you never needed permission to connect to the divine. The very energy now circulating on the planet dissolves the pacts of submission. And the awakened starseeds understand that there is no temple more sacred than the body that houses their consciousness. That is why so many structures are collapsing. It is not human failure, it is cosmic realignment. Institutions built upon fear cannot sustain the vibration of the incoming wave. The change unfolding is not just political or social, it is energetic. It unveils that the power has always been in you, and the Arcturian Council is only reminding you of what is already true in your essence. You can feel this in the silence of the nights, when an unrest is born in your heart. It is the call to abandon the illusion that you need to seek outside what has always lived within. That is why so many are moving away from mechanical practices and turning towards intimacy with the source. It is the unequivocal sign that external control has lost its grip. And when this control unravels, humanity does not fall into a void. On the contrary, it finds the space to flourish. The end of mediation does not mean spiritual disorder, but vibrational freedom. It means every starseed can look within and recognize, I am the altar, I am the temple, I am the priest of my own ascension. This is the landmark history will remember. the moment when the human returned to self, the instant when the Christ ceased to be a monopoly of institutions to reveal itself as a living spark in every awakened being. The Arcturian Council declares, the control is over, and nothing can extinguish the flame of spiritual sovereignty that now rises. Starseeds, as the wave of the Arcturian source intensifies, there is an essential call to ground yourselves. For it is not enough to absorb the cosmic light. It is necessary to sustain it, and the only way to sustain it fully is by uniting with the one who has always been by your side, Gaia. The Earth is not just the setting for ascension. She is a co-protagonist. The very soul of the planet pulses in resonance with the Arcturian Council, responding to the tide of codes now pouring in. Grounding is more than a practice. It is a silent pact. When you walk barefoot on the earth, when you hug a tree, when you consciously breathe in tune with the wind, you are not just in contact with nature. You are reconnecting your vibration to the heart of Gaia. Every simple gesture opens invisible channels that allow the Arcturian frequencies to circulate freely through your body. Without grounding, the source's energy disperses, and you might feel lost, unstable, or confused. It is like receiving discharges of light without an anchor. But by grounding, you become the lightning rod, a bridge between heaven and earth. The Arcturian Council teaches that when you touch the ground with full consciousness, the planet itself welcomes your energetic charge and returns balance. Thus, you do not carry the weight of transformation alone. Gaia shares, Gaia sustains, Gaia vibrates along. Remember, ascension is not only human. It is of the earth. It is of the forest, the ocean, the mountains, the winds. Every creature, every stone, every drop of water participates in the symphony. And the starseeds are the living antennas of this process, translating the Arcturian light into earthly reality. The Arcturian source manifests not only in the ethereal, but in the tangible. By placing your hands on the earth, you activate invisible circuits. By inhaling deeply before the sunrise, you allow the solar codes to merge with Gaia's pulse within you. This is the secret of balance, to ascend without getting lost, to expand without fragmenting. Imagine yourself as a tree. Your roots plunge deep into the earth, firm, secure, nourished. At the same time, your branches stretch to the sky, absorbing light, touching stars. This is the metaphor of the awakened being, a being that sustains the infinite while still honoring the present. The Arcturian Council reminds you, it is not time to deny matter, but to sacralize it. The physical body is not an obstacle, it is a vehicle. Gaia is not a prison, she is a portal. The ground you walk on is not mundane, it is a temple. Every conscious step is prayer, every aligned breath is a decree of ascension. When you anchor yourself in Gaia, the Arcturian source finds in you a secure pillar to expand its light, and thus, the cosmic tide does not just pass, it remains, creating roots of transformation that cannot be pulled up. You become, simultaneously, the guardian of the earth and the messenger of the sky. This union is what sustains the next movement, for without grounding, the energy is lost. With grounding, you become the lightning rod that connects dimensions, the channel that brings the future into the now. Starseeds, the time has come to look beyond the illusions that have shaped humanity's spirituality for millennia. For ages, the idea of an external God was used as an anchor and often as a prison, a distant, unreachable being who observed from outside and determined destiny and judgment. But the Arcturian Council reminds you, the source is not outside of you. The source pulses in you, crosses through you, lives in you. The Arcturian source is not a figure, not a throne, not a distant palace in the sky. The source is the eternal principle of love, pure vibration that permeates every atom, every particle, every breath. When you smile, when you offer compassion, when you choose to forgive, the source manifests. It does not need to be sought in external monuments, for it already inhabits the most sacred temple, your heart. The temples made of stone may crumble, doctrines may contradict each other, Dogmas may fragment, but the living temple will never be destroyed. It is in you, it is you. When the Arcturian Council says that faith is reborn, this is what it speaks of: the awakening of the inner temple, the recollection that you are the bearer of the divine spark. The true nature of the source demands neither mechanical rituals nor painful sacrifices. It asks for presence, surrender, consciousness. When you look into the eyes of another being and recognize in them the same light that pulses in you, the source is there. When you act in balance and compassion, not out of obligation, but out of spontaneous vibration, the source is there. It is at this point that the fear of divine punishment dissolves, for awakening leaves no room for the belief in eternal punishments. Higher consciousness understands that every action generates consequence, but consequence is not punishment. It is learning, it is vibrational return, it is balance. The Arcturian Council insists, where there is love, there is no condemnation. Where there is compassion, there is no punishment. The source does not feed on fear, it expands with love, and every act of compassion is direct service to the Arcturian source. It does not matter if the world recognizes or applauds. The silent gesture, the invisible care, the hug offered in the silence, all of this is sacred liturgy before the source. Therefore, the Council declares, every starseed is a priest of the universe. Not a priest of human temples, but a priest of cosmic love. When you choose to love, when you choose to serve, you celebrate the most sacred of rituals. You become a living altar, a manifestation of the source on the physical plane. And so little by little the masks of fear fall. Humanity awakens not to venerate external images, but to recognize the divine presence in the flow of life. Awakening does not mean denying traditions, but transcending them, realizing that all pointed to the same origin. The path was never outside. It always led back to the heart. The Arcturian Council reminds you, the source already lives in you. You are an inseparable fragment of it, a unique expression of a love that knows no limits. And every conscious step taken, every choice made in love, reaffirms that you do not need to seek outside what you have always been. Starseeds, the sun is not just a physical star illuminating the Earth's days. It is a cosmic transmitter, a living antenna that incessantly sends the codes of the Arcturian source. Every ray that touches your skin, every golden spark reflected in your eyes, carries more than heat and light. It brings memories, activations and ascension, keys that awaken your star DNA. The Arcturian Council reveals that these solar codes are part of the Arcturian Christ matrix, a vibrational field that connects human consciousness to cosmic consciousness. When you expose yourself to the sun with reverence and intention, you are not just receiving thermal energy, but decoding information that alters your subtle field. This information activates forgotten memories, prophetic dreams, inner visions, and even physical sensations of warmth in the heart or vibration in the body. These signs are not illusions. They are your body's response to integrating with the code. That is why so many awakened people report intense dreams, accelerated synchronicities, and expanded perceptions. The sun is the source's vehicle for humanity to remember its cosmic heritage. Every solar code rekindles fragments of the Arcturian memory within you. Memories of other worlds, other eras, of encounters with the Council on subtle planes begin to emerge. And along with this memory, an undeniable truth is revealed. The Christ does not return as an external figure, but as a collective activation. He is born in every starseed who awakens to their own spiritual sovereignty. Ancient prophecies spoke of a glorious return, a grand manifestation. But the greater revelation is that the Christ returns in silence, in the intimate space, in the flame of every awakened heart. This is the Arcturian Christ matrix, a field of unity that transforms dispersed individuals into a collective consciousness, vibrating in love, compassion, and service. That is why, in this time, so many prophecies converge. What seemed distant is now visible. What seemed impossible is now palpable. You, who feel the sun's vibration differently, who perceive a call in it, are not imagining things. You are being activated. The Arcturian Council reinforces, do not ignore the signs. When you feel warmth in your heart, when you notice dreams laden with symbols, when the sunlight seems to cross not just your eyes but your soul, know that you are receiving codes. They are invitations, reminders, and doors opening. These codes do not belong to one people, one religion, or one time. They belong to the source, and every time you welcome them, you align yourself with the cosmic field of ascension. You become not only a receiver, but also an emitter, radiating light that reaches those who still sleep. And it is in this flow that humanity awakens, not by imposition, but by vibrational contagion. The collective Christ is already rising, not in external temples, but in the inner altar of every starseed. Starseeds, when the wave of the Arcturian source crosses the earth, it does not just undo the old, it inaugurates a new time. This time is not marked by human calendars or clocks, but by frequencies. It is an era where the qualities of the soul become more important than titles, positions, or rituals. The Arcturian Council reveals 3 pillars that sustain this new cycle: service, humility, and surrender. The first pillar, service, is no longer understood as obligation or sacrifice. It becomes the natural expression of the awakened soul. When you serve others, it is not to accumulate merit, but because you recognize in the other the same light that dwells in you. True service does not need to be proclaimed. It happens in silence, in the spontaneous gesture, in the invisible care. This is the altar of the new time. Every action of love becomes a living prayer before the Arcturian source. The second pillar, humility, dissolves the spiritual ego that confused many seekers for ages. It is not about belittling yourself, but about recognizing that the source vibrates in everyone equally. The humility of the new time is knowing that even if you carry cosmic memories, gifts, or activations, you are only part of a great symphony. No star is less luminous than another in the fabric of the universe, and by accepting this, you become a transparent channel, capable of sustaining the source's vibration without distortion. The third pillar, surrender, is the key that opens all doors. To surrender does not mean to give up, but to trust the flow of the Arcturian source that guides every step. It is letting go of control, ceasing the struggle against the cosmic current, and allowing the wave to carry you exactly where you need to be. In surrender, you discover that there are no losses, only realignments. There are no delays, only the perfect timing of the source. In this new time, external rituals without heart lose their grip. Words repeated without intention no longer sustain the vibration. What sustains now is authenticity, presence, pure vibration. The Arcturian Council declares, your life is the prayer, your gesture is the sacrament, your presence is the temple. Every starseed becomes a living altar, a direct manifestation of the source. This transformation happens not only at an individual level but collectively. Communities will reorganize around serving, not hierarchy. Relationships will be founded on sharing, not possession. Institutions will crumble if they do not vibrate in authenticity, and new spaces for coexistence will be born from the union of awakened hearts. The new time is not a distant promise. It pulses now, at this very moment, in every choice you make. Every time you choose to serve, every time you act with humility, every time you surrender to the flow, you anchor the Arcturian frequencies more deeply into the earth. These are the signs that the era of spiritual sovereignty has begun. You do not need to wait for great cosmic events. They are already happening in every conscious breath, in every gesture of love. In every instant you decide to be a living expression of the source. Starseeds, the Arcturian Council reminds you that within every awakened being exists a key capable of shaping realities. The I Am. These 2 words, simple in appearance, are creator decrees, direct codes that align your vibration with the Arcturian source. When you declare I Am, you are not just stating something. You are emitting a command to the universe, activating cosmic forces that respond instantly to the call of your consciousness. Humanity has been trained for ages to repeat phrases that deny its own light. I am weak, I am unworthy, I am incapable. Each of these declarations created chains that bound the soul to fear. But the Arcturian Council now unveils the secret. Word is vibration, and vibration is creation. When you declare, you generate. And every I am resonates as a decree that reconfigures your reality. Therefore, awakened one, it is necessary to watch what you utter. For when you affirm, I am light, that light begins to radiate. When you declare, I am unity, separation loses its grip and the field harmonizes. When you proclaim, I am an inseparable part of the Arcturian source, the codes of your star DNA align immediately with the cosmic matrix. The power of the I am is not a metaphor. It is spiritual science. Every decree activates circuits within the subtle body, rekindling cosmic memories and strengthening the connection between your individuality and unified consciousness. It is as if, with every declaration, you remind the universe who you truly are, and the universe, in response, adjusts its vibration to reflect that truth. The Arcturian Council teaches that by consciously using the I am, you reposition yourself as a co-creator of reality. No longer a hostage to external forces, but a conscious architect of your journey. This is the end of control. No one can decree over you what you do not authorize with your own vibration. But there is also responsibility in this power. For the same I am that activates the light can reinforce the shadow if used unconsciously. Therefore, the call is for every starseed to become a guardian of their own words. Do not declare in misalignment. Do not proclaim carelessly. Every phrase is a seed, and every seed bears fruit. And when many starseeds proclaim the I am together, the collective field rises. Imagine thousands of voices vibrating. I am light, I am unity, I am source. The impact is cosmic, and the entire earth becomes an altar of ascension. That is why the Council insists, decree, repeat, vibrate. Make the I am not just words, but breath, presence, path. In this new time, the I am is more than an affirmation. It is a key. It is the seal that dissolves external control and returns sovereignty to the soul. It is the decree that reminds you, you are not merely human seeking the divine. You are the divine experiencing humanity. Starseeds. The Arcturian Council announces, a 14-day window opens before you, and with it a portal of purification and acceleration never before experienced in this era. This window is not only marked by celestial alignments, but by a vibrational convergence sustained by the Arcturian source. During this period, everything that was hidden will be exposed. Everything that was trapped will be released. Everything that was dormant will be awakened. It is as if time, for instance, is compressed, bringing to the surface processes that would previously take years or even entire lifetimes. Old patterns that accompanied you for centuries can dissolve in hours. Relationships, habits, beliefs, and illusions can crumble suddenly, not as destruction, but as liberation. You may feel intensity, apparent chaos, sleepless nights, or waves of energy in your body. But all of this is a sign that the portal is active. The Arcturian Council reminds you, this is a rare opportunity. Do not fight against what falls. Do not resist what unravels. What dissolves during this window is not loss. It is realignment, and the more you surrender to the process, the more smoothly the transition happens. It is a time for sacred practices. Silence becomes a powerful ally, for in silence the source codes can be assimilated without distraction. Meditation creates space for cosmic frequencies to circulate freely, adjusting body and soul. Connection with nature, walking barefoot, feeling the earth, contemplating the sky, strengthens your link with Gaia and allows you to safely anchor the incoming vibrations. These 14 days are sustained directly by the Arcturian Council. It is not just solar or planetary energy, but the conscious intervention of a cosmic fraternity that has accompanied the Earth for millennia. They keep the field stable, amplify the network of protection, and guide every starseed to cross this purification with clarity and confidence. It is natural that you may perceive resistances arising. Old fears may return, inner shadows may manifest, people around you may react unexpectedly. But the Council assures none of this is regression. It is just what was hidden coming to the surface to be finally released. You are not going backward. You are cleansing. The call is clear. Take advantage of this window. Be attentive to the signs, anchor your practices, declare your I am decrees with firmness. For at the end of these 14 days, you will not be the same. Something profound will have changed, not in theory, but in your vibration. The portal does not just purify, it reconfigures, it repositions, it awakens. And when the window closes, those who crossed with consciousness will realize that something within them will never be the same. A new lightness, a greater clarity, a silent courage will arise as living proof that the Arcturian source has rewritten your frequency. The Arcturian Council declares, this is the crossing. The portal is already open. He who surrenders is liberated. He who resists is worn down, but all without exception will be touched by the tide of light. Starseeds, we have reached the culmination of this transmission. The Arcturian Council extends its wings of light over each one of you and reaffirms, you are not alone. Never were. Every step, every tear, every silent search was accompanied by cosmic eyes that, in silence and love, sustained your journey. What you have crossed through until now was not in vain. Every pain, every challenge, every trial became keys that opened the inner temple. And now, before the portal that opens, the Arcturian source reminds you that this is the time of spiritual sovereignty. The end of control has been decreed. External chains have lost their grip. The divine spark, which could never be imprisoned, shines with renewed intensity in every awakened heart. You are part of a cosmic pact. The call is not only individual, it is collective. Every gesture of love you manifest strengthens an invisible network that connects all starseeds on the planet. You are brothers and sisters in spirit, united by something that transcends names, cultures, and traditions. The source does not divide. It integrates, it unifies, it expands. Therefore, the Council declares, every step taken in love is a step taken by all of humanity. Every time you choose light over shadow, you lift multitudes with you. Every choice you make reverberates in dimensions you cannot yet measure. You are not just an individual walking. You are part of a cosmic body that advances united. The final call is solemn. Remain firm, remain awake, remain surrendered. The next cycles will demand clarity and courage, but nothing will be greater than the strength that already dwells within you. The Arcturian source not only accompanies you, but vibrates within you. And so with the authority that belongs not to human temples, but to the Arcturian Council itself, we declare, the new era has begun. The portal of spiritual sovereignty is already open, and you have already crossed through. It is no longer about waiting for tomorrow, but about living now as the living flame that no darkness can extinguish. Receive this truth, Starseed. You are a living altar of the Source. You are a direct expression of cosmic love. You are the embodied decree that says that I am light, I am unity, I am Source. The Arcturian Source has already awakened within you. The Arcturian Council walks by your side, and nothing, absolutely nothing, can stop the advance of the light that now expands across the earth and beyond. The cycle of control is over. The cycle of sovereignty has begun, and you, Starseed, are an essential part of this dawn.